Hello people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy Wednesday to you all. Hopefully your week is going brilliantly. Let's get into the new music for the day. Today we're delving back into the K-hip-hop scene. Again, I am not well versed in K-hip-hop at all, or just in hip-hop music in general. It's not a genre of music I grew up listening to, that I spent a lot of time listening to, but you know, kind of like the purpose of this channel for me, like personally, was to try and like grow my tastes a little bit, try and like explore out into like uncharted territory for me when it came to K music, and K-hip-hop was one of them. And PENOMECO is an artist that I remember watching LKTV do a deep dive on his stream a little while ago, and I found it really intriguing. Even from someone who doesn't understand the music, I find it musically very interesting and musically very stimulating for me to listen to. So that's what we're going to do today, is to try and learn a little bit more about K-hip-hop through PENOMECO's latest release, both RINDAMAN and Pew, featuring Mr. Zico. Interesting enough, the MV we're watching is for both songs, which I don't think I've ever seen an artist do before. It's very exciting. I mean, the MV is 5.5 minutes long, but it features 2 songs. I'm very much excited for that. Zico. I feel like I've been picking up on just little bits and pieces of Zico music here and there. Like, New Thing was everywhere last year. I remember hearing No You Can't on Amazing Saturday when 17 were on it, or one of the times 17 was on it, and Hoshi absolutely owning the diction round for that. But hey, hip-hop, let's try and learn us some stuff today. Apologies if I don't catch on to something, or if I misinterpret something, or just in general just don't understand it. I'm really out of my element here, like kind of the same with the Code Kunst album we checked out a little while ago. I don't know how to break this down like in a way that maybe it's supposed to be. My music knowledge is pretty much based around pop music and classical music and maybe some chorale music. That's about it. So I'm going to try and understand it and explain it in the best way that I can with my skill sets. If I do miss something, let me know. But let's jump right into it. Here we go. Like the soundstage, it's a nice wide soundstage to start. I haven't even hit the song yet. Quite like the synth guitar sample here.
체급이라도 맞춰 다이다인데 걸린 지루들이 돼야 맞겠어 Cause I'm the top of the shit like Lindaman 랩을 웃긴 선제 앞에 힘만 bang 하나같이 깁을 다른 이유 Cause nobody can handle like this yeah. Top of the shit like I'm Linda Fuck all this shit like I'm Linda 조연은 됐어 I'm Linda 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 까마귀들 사이 Lindaman 까마귀들 위에 Lindaman 조연은 됐어 I'm Linda Surprise, surprise people Zico 점수가 없어 제발로 나왔어 KT 연패는 시상식에서나 듣던 얘기 루이비배 내 눈엔 힌디맨 재민이 손주먹으로 대견이 때려쳐라 Who making who wants to battle me 잡은 즉시 패대기 나 영접하기 전에 누구나 있지 계획이 땡땡이 가득 찬 계절 like who's on my yaoi KO's logos on fire 나 얍삽한 하이에나 앞에 라이언 I buy no matter what 이번에 역시 my turn 잭슨 조던에게 넘겨바치 다운 마이크 잘 들어 내 청춘은 바로 지금이야 hype보y 너네 맘나 혼자
Shout out all the pop references, like pop culture references in this. But is this supposed to be like an anti-K-hip-hop hater song? Or like a you little scrubs get on my level type of vibe? Because I feel like I'm standing in between like a battle that I don't want to be a part of. That Lindaman motif also hard. And this juxtaposition of the synthy guitar and the electric guitar with a whole bunch of overdrive on it. But like already so far, I think we're going into the second song, but Zico and PENOMECO together, oh, their energy is so good. They match each other's energy really well. Track 2.
Barney Chavez will be brought to justice.
Yeah, oh, round still make a plans and on. Am I gonna point at the business? talking 내 방식을 알고 싶다면 물어봐 나의 budget. 난 바빠 대표님들 다 budget 불만 나빠 down will it care about 나머지 1평짜리 90원에 산 놈이 3층짜리 집에 서 있겠고 머리나 slip in the box. 어른이 하는 넌 그냥 젖대림 내 like a betty I ain't no kidding 내 포르쉐 착해 Louis V kidding 매일 아침 hit the bars 도핑 테스트에서만 negative vibe 다음 내 방 침대는 노란색 car.
I love the variation of the flow here. It's differentiating the accentuated syllables in the flow. Love that. That verse just now from PENOMECO, I think, was the most rhythmically intricate flow throughout both pieces. A lot to talk about if we want to break that down later. An actually, like, mechanically accurate firearm set. Man, I'm feeling that whole, you know, like, talk to me when you get on my level. Until then, like, stay in your lane type of vibe. Like, I am feeling that in my bones. It's like they're making it very clear, like, the message is being delivered, like, whether you want to or not. Rorschach, the name of the album. Interesting. It's like two halves. It's very much a song of two halves, or songs of two halves. I like that. I understand, like, the parallels between the two and why they decided to put them together, because the message is very similar. And it's like, Pew is, and this is from, like, personal interpretation, so I could be very off the mark here. So apologies in advance, forgive me if I do get anything really wrong. But Pew kind of gives me, like, that impression of, like, hey, this is what I do. Y'all ain't got shit on this. Y'all ain't got shit on what I do. So stay in your lane. And then RINDAMAN is, I feel like RINDAMAN is more of, like, a general, like, hey, respect the art that we do, kind of. And I feel like Pew is more specific to, like, people within the genre that's, like, throwing shade up the ranks, but RINDAMAN is more of, like, a general, like, piece on, like, I guess, I don't know, it's not K-hip-hop, like, anti-sentiment, but, like, that kind of vibe. Does that make sense? I don't know, I'm waffling at this point, but the song, it's for the first time ever we got to listen to two songs in one sitting, which is kind of exciting. Very much different from how we got Pixie's Karma a little while ago, but oh, that was fun. RINDAMAN definitely was a song that, like, got me moving, but Pew, for me, was a lot more rhythmically intricate on both PENOMECO and Zico's verses. that it's just one of those things where I listen to it and I'm trying to like visualize what it would look like on a sheet of like musical ledger, and just like seeing all the really just wacky non-classical rhythms in there and thinking, oh man, this would be such a pain in the ass to try and sight read if I were playing along with this. But I think that's what makes K-hip-hop fun for me. For me, as someone who like grew up around classical orchestral music, because I played violin in orchestra growing up, I sang in choir, I did a cappella. I was very much around like melody and like accompaniment and harmony and things like that. So this is way out of my wheelhouse. But to be able to kind of interpret it in my own way using the skills that I have and kind of understanding the little nuances of it makes me feel like mentally satisfied listening to it. Like, I want to go back to Pew, because I think Pew for me was like, in terms of like the music theory side of things, the more interesting song. I think musically speaking, I prefer Rindaman, but from like an analytical point of view, I think Pew is the go-to. So we'll start with PENOMECO's verse and Pew, because it's the variation of flows that gets me really excited about K-hip-hop, or just hip-hop and rap music in general. So here we go. It's that rhythmic like playfulness. Meanwhile, the beat below it is staying entirely constant, and because there's no melody, you have in like rap verses in like the K-hip-hop scene compared to standard K-pop per se, you lose that melodic quality, the tonal quality in a rap verse, because rapping is more reliant on the delivery of the rhythms and the accentuated syllables rather than the actual like musical notes that's being delivered, right? And so they have to keep the flow interesting, and they have to keep the rhythm interesting to keep the listener engaged, whether it's just like overloading them with a whole bunch of syllables at once, or getting playful with the flow a little bit, like jumping around, maybe mixing it up a little bit. I love that. And it's like it's got kind of like this like playful little like flow to it. Again, this is coming from a pop point of view, so maybe like avid K-hip-hop fans might interpret that differently, but and it's like now we move forward into the verse, and like it's almost like the rhythm's been flipped on its head. Was the first one, but now it's now it's like the faster part of the rhythm is in the latter half of the measure and not in the former half, which I think is really interesting. It keeps the song fresh, it keeps the flow fresh. And then I want to get to Mr. Zico coming in. Oh yeah. Shout out the VFX team or the stage production team for the mechanically accurate firearms scene. I don't know, like, this is such a very minute detail for me, but I have seen way too many videos where if there is a firearm involved in a song, I never see it functioning properly. Like, I know it's visually more aesthetically pleasing to see the entire bullet and the casing fly across the screen, but that's just not how firearms work, and I'm glad that this video has it accurate, mechanically accurate. So thank you VFX team, thank you stage production team, thank you MV production team for that. Gets my OCD riled up when I see the bullet and the cartridge flying across the screen. It's like, that's not how it works. But besides the point, back to the flow. And then Zico here in his verse is like 3 bars of the same flow. Change it on the fourth one, brand new flow for the next 3 bars. Little transitional fourth bar. And I think that's so interesting. It's like, Zico's verse in Pew doesn't like cold turkey into the new phrases. He like, it gives a little bit of a buffer space in between the two like flow changes. And I think that's really cool, and it's really satisfying to listen to. It's like, oh, it's a little bit different. Oh, we're changing again. And it's like a two-step change instead of just like one and done. And I quite like that. And then that phrase there where you're just taking the middle of the bar and just like really ramping up the syllable per second count right in the middle of the measure, and that's it. I think it's super satisfying, especially because it follows the like a hula hoop line where it's really slow. Oh, it's just so satisfying to listen to. Man. Apologies again for the like K-hip hop fans out there who may be stumbling upon this, because this might like essentially like the last what 8 minutes that I spent rambling about this song might seem like a really trivial and like a common thing, but for me it's like it's all new and it's all really interesting to me. And when I tend to get interested in something like this, I tend to kind of go off on a lot of tangents, so apologies for my incessant rambling, but I very much enjoyed this. An unhealthily amount I enjoyed this. Once Spotify is back up and running, because can't like play anything on Spotify right now, but once it's back up and running, I might check out the rest of this album in my free time. Or at least off the rip, I'm definitely going to be vibing along to RINDAMAN Pew for sure for the rest of the day, because I very much enjoyed it. But that's it from me today. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy and want to see more, channel icon is up there. Admittedly, we haven't done that much K-hip hop stuff. We've done a whole lot of K-pop. K-hip hop, not that much. So if you're looking for that kind of stuff, my bad, I don't have that much stuff. But if you're interested, channel icon is up there. You can find the back catalog stuff watched in the past. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date with whenever I upload new videos. And if you want to watch this video mine right away, YouTube recommends you watch that video down there. And until next time, bye-bye.